People across the crypto world are angry. Many believe JP Morgan is trying to crash the crypto market. Reports appear suddenly, negative commentary spreads, and markets react. Every time this happens, the same question rises online. Why is the world's most powerful bank attacking crypto? But this tension didn't begin today. It began more than a century ago, with a man who shaped the structure of modern finance. John Pierpont Morgan was not born into power, but he was born into expectation. His father, Junius Morgan, was already a respected financier. From a young age, Pierpont learned discipline, mathematics, and international banking. He grew up traveling between Europe and America, studying economics, and absorbing the culture of high finance. By his 30s, he was already a force on Wall Street. Morgan had a presence that people rarely forgot. He was confident, intense, and intimidating. When he entered a room, everything shifted. He believed that order in the financial world was not optional. It was necessary, and if chaos threatened the system, he would personally stop it. In the late 1800s, America was expanding rapidly. Railroads, steel, manufacturing, and new technologies transformed the nation. But the financial infrastructure was fragile. Bank failures happened often, and investor confidence could collapse in a single week. The U.S. Treasury itself struggled to maintain enough gold to defend the dollar. In 1895, the government ran dangerously low on gold. Confidence vanished. The economy neared collapse. Congress was divided and unable to act. With nowhere else to turn, the government called one private citizen for help, J.P. Morgan. Morgan assembled a syndicate and delivered more than 3.5 million ounces of gold to the government. One man stabilized the entire U.S. monetary system. Morgan was no longer just wealthy. He was essential to America's survival. 12 years later, the panic of 1907 struck. Banks collapsed across the country. Wall Street was in freefall. People lined the streets demanding their money. The government had no solution. Morgan did. He summoned the nation's most powerful bankers to his personal library, locked the doors, and refused to let anyone leave until a rescue plan was in place. He personally decided which banks would live and which would die. This moment shocked the world. One private banker saved the U.S. economy. It was this event that inspired the creation of the Federal Reserve. The government realized it could not rely on a single man forever, no matter how capable he was. Over the next century, the company he founded grew even larger. Through mergers and acquisitions, it absorbed other giants. Chase Manhattan, Bank One, Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual. It survived the Great Depression, global wars, inflation crises, and the 2008 financial disaster. Today, JPMorgan Chase is the largest bank in the United States. It oversees more than $3.9 trillion in assets, operates in more than 100 countries, and influences nearly every major market on Earth. At the top is Jamie Dimon, a man many consider the most powerful banker alive. When he speaks, markets move. When he criticizes an industry, investors panic. And for years, one of his favorite targets has been cryptocurrency. Dimon called Bitcoin a fraud, a scam, and even a waste of time. But years later, many of his predictions proved wrong. Despite Dimon's criticism, the crypto market continued to grow. Major corporations adopted blockchain. Countries developed digital currencies. Wall Street began exploring tokenized assets. Even JP Morgan itself quietly built blockchain tools in the background. The bank launched JP Morgan Coin, created the Onyx blockchain network, and processed billions of dollars in tokenized transactions. In other words, the very technology Dimon dismissed became a core part of the bank's long-term strategy. His public statements were harsh, but behind the scenes, JP Morgan became one of the largest blockchain users in the world. And JP Morgan was not the only major institution to change its opinion. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, once dismissed crypto as irrelevant. But today, he calls blockchain the next evolution of financial markets. He says that in the future, everything will be tokenized. This means stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, and even physical assets like art or infrastructure will exist digitally, move instantly, and settle in seconds. This is the future blockchain unlocks. A world where financial transactions are faster, cheaper, global, transparent, and available 24 hours a day. A world without friction, without intermediaries, and without the delays of traditional banking. If this future becomes real, blockchain won't just be a new technology. It will be the new Wall Street. A modern financial system built on code instead of paper, automation instead of human error, and global access instead of national boundaries. This is why so many people question JP Morgan's public attacks on crypto. They see a pattern. For over a century, the Morgan strategy has always been the same. Do not fear new markets. Control them. Do not ignore new technology. Adopt it, improve it, and dominate it. Throughout the bank's history, fines have been inevitable. $920 million for precious metals market manipulation, $264 million for bribery, $13 billion for mortgage abuses, hundreds of millions for accounting failures. So when people suspect the bank of influencing the crypto market today, they connect the dots from a long history of power and influence. Meanwhile, the global financial system is facing tremendous pressure. Inflation surged to levels not seen in decades. Interest rates rose rapidly. Government debt is climbing worldwide. Banks have collapsed. Nations are exploring digital currencies and tokenized assets. Investors are searching for stability in a rapidly changing world. JP Morgan sits at the center of all of this. It advises governments, finances major corporations, supports global payment systems, and shapes financial policy. At the same time, its executives publicly doubt crypto while privately adopting blockchain at scale. So the real question is not whether JP Morgan hates crypto. It is whether JP Morgan wants to control the future it believes is coming. A future where traditional banking merges with digital assets. A future where tokenization replaces paperwork. A future where blockchain becomes the foundation of global finance. Will JP Morgan slow crypto down? Will it adopt it completely? Will it attempt to dominate tokenized markets the same way it dominated railroads, steel, and early American industry? Or will blockchain finally create a system so decentralized, open, and global that even JP Morgan cannot control it? The answer is still being written, and we are living through the next chapter of financial history.